If you're a Spider-Man fan that's older than like 15, there's a pretty strong chance that somewhere you've seen this. Maybe it was in a TV commercial, or a Spider-Man themed workout video, or when he skated with Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk! Yeah, I skated with that guy.
Or in a magazine. Picture Stan Lee, a couple dozen of those. Musical, and most prominently, Universal Studios' Marvel Islands of Adventure. For over a decade at least, this was Spider-Man's default look in the minds of many fans, barring his shiny webbed appearance in his theatrical debut. Oh, also my friend Jacob's here.
Hey, I'm here again. These suits were distributed to actors in the Marvel Personal Appearance Group, which is still independent of Disney to this day.
If you're an actor at this company, Marvel will pay in advance and send you a freshly cleaned costume in the mail with instructions for where and when the appearance is, when your flight will be, where your hotel will be, etc.
It's like being a hitman, except you make children and families happier. So, you throw on a suit, get to car shows, carnivals, festivals, shopping mall appearances, and whatever else they need a Spider-Man, Captain America, Wolverine, or Iron Man or whatever to appear. This particular iteration of the wall crawler studs were designed by Betty Williams, an expert in theatrical costuming. This suit came about at the request of the traveling web-spinning performers who had received complaints for the better part of 5 years from fans at public appearances. Complaints about what, you may ask?
Was the old suit itchy? Did it ride up in the crotch a little?
It was the eyes. You see, it was 1992 and the original Eves Brooks Spider-Man costume was starting to look a little dated in a post-Todd McFarlane society. Kids would ask the performers, "Why are Spider-Man's eyes so small?" Although anyone subscribed to this channel would know, I'll go over it for you anyway. Spider-Man, as originally designed, had a plethora of webs all over his costume, and much squintier eyes than you'd recognize him for today. It was the early 1960s, and Steve Ditko had created one of the most striking and recognizable costumes in comics. After a groundbreaking 3 to 4 year run on the book, Ditko would leave Spider-Man in the hands of its co-creator Stan Lee and longtime Marvel artist John Romita. As early as John's first issue, you'd be able to notice some small tweaks to Spider-Man's costume. The webs on the costume became a little more sparse, likely to speed up the time it would take to pencil. There was the loss of the web wings, and, as you'll notice, Spider-Man's two-way mirror lenses also had a change of shape. They had become a little larger and more open. Going forward, this would be the Spider-Man every artist would replicate as the decades went by.
But in 1988, readers were introduced to a new look for the web-slinger. This was Spider-Man through the lens of Todd McFarlane. A return to form, the reintroduction of the underarm webs, about 3 times as much webbing on the red sections of Spidey's costume, and the loss of the poor inker's annual vacation days.
And that just about brings us up to speed. After a few years of Todd's mark on the character, and a record-setting 2.65 million copies sold, people had come to realize this as the modern look for the character. And the personal appearance costumes were lacking a few inches in the ocular viewport department. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when it comes to Spider-Man, apparently size matters.
And so, a new costume is born, further cementing Spider-Man's name in the roster of those who make the world of fantasy the most exciting realm of all. We figured because we've seen it everywhere, this suit would still be pretty common. They must have produced thousands of them for all of these events around the world, so why don't we have a line on more of them? Well, for one, Marvel Appearance Group won't let actors keep the costumes after their performance. And even worse, what if during a bit of amazing acrobatics you catch the suit on a nearby rose bush at the park, or snag it in a mechanical component on an ATV that they have to drive at Universal for some reason? Or get into a fist fight with the Wolverine actor because he's been hitting on your wife all night and could really use a lesson in manners. The company doesn't want to ruin the illusion of real-life superheroes for younger fans, and maybe not every little one could justify stitches or patches on the suit as battle damage from a fight with 1,000 or something. So instead of repairing them, the company simply shreds them.
And in the years since the suit was popular, it's been replaced with a more modern version that, well, I've gone on record as not liking quite as much.
Fucking ball, it's so bullshit. Fuck it. This suit is ass. Y'all like orange and gray? That's the color of this one. These logos have no character at all. It's just the generic ones you see on everything. Also, the eyes are like, it's fucking stupid for no reason. They could just still be round. I don't understand. The seam work is really sloppy around the masks of these suits, so it ends up making the webs look horribly misshapen.
So, authentic Universal Spidey suits are now few and far between.
This costume design is John Romita Sr.'s art brought to life, and has played such a crucial role in bringing this character to the mainstream for young fans like us, who grew up wishing we were the ones wearing it. It has such a charm in that it looks so unabashedly super, but not something out of reach of the possibility for someone to make themselves at home. It feels like a really genuine look at how Spider-Man would look in real life, and clearly that was an inspiration for both of us. So it's been a dream of ours for many years to own one of these ourselves. A fan tagged me on Twitter last month to tell me that someone was finally selling this suit on eBay for nearly $3,000. And I was like, nah man, that's crazy, I can't spend that much on something like that. And then I thought about it and my brain went into a real haha unless mode, and I was like, well, what if I get some help from the fans? So I asked everyone on Twitter if they'd be willing to throw some cash my way to be able to get this thing and make a video on it. And they said they'd be interested.
And the suit got unlisted from eBay.
And I was big mega sad because I got my hopes up. But then I messaged the seller in eBay's private DMs and asked if someone had bought it, and he said someone was eyeballing it, but that fell through, and then he gave me his personal email. This guy's name was Greg Kelly, who specializes in crafting and selling authentic movie props and costumes, comic books and nerdy antiques, and he also makes real-life James Bond cars in his spare time.
Big monkey.
I shared Greg some video... The big monkey.
Big monkey.
I showed Greg some of my videos, including my previous one on the history of Spider-Man suits and the ones I've sewn myself, and he saw a kindred spirit in my hyperactive nerdy ass. So he cut me a deal that if I put down a deposit on the suit and raised the rest of the money on Kickstarter, he'd give it to me for $2,800. And my amazing fans and friends came through in only 3 days. Next to my car, this is the most expensive thing I own, and that's somehow cool and really sad.
You fucking loser asshole. So let's see how unboxing it went.
I forgot a knife, so
Or
I'll
not.
use
Hey,
my
astute
keys.
viewers, can you look hard enough? You'll know where he is, so you can say hi yourself.
Don't do that.
Don't actually.
I would move.
I'm torn between getting a knife and watching you struggle.
No, this is funnier. Dear Xavier, sorry delayed a bit as I goofed up when printing my own postage at home. Please take care of this one. I've had so many of these, but this is the only this second 1992 versions. Very rare. Regards, Greg. Oh, cool. Well, this is the fun part.
This is the whole reason you got it, right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
This is where your money went, YouTube.
I'm a guest in your home and I'm not getting bubble wrap. I earned it.
Ooh. Ooh, gang. Oh. Oh, you can see from the eye. Yep. This is about what I was imagining for those. Yeah, they have the soles on the boots. It's folded it in on itself here.
Oh, yeah, that's just for me as senior. Yeah, that's awesome.
It has the zipper in the back. Ooh.
Hey, go get a styrofoam head to stuff that thing with really quick.
Okay.
Whole thing.
Have one nearby? Oh, you do. Wow. Did not think you had one within arm's reach.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, look at those eyes.
That's how you know it's legit.
Fucking access to right now the perfect lens template for that shit. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You could just make any lenses you want now.
Solid.
Yeah. Look, hey, look, there's rubber soles on it. That's nice. That's good. That's for walking around theme parks. Made in China.
Now,
There's tiny
now
little
you
little spots where it's a little frayed, or like there's like a hole in it maybe, but I can stitch those up real easy.
You got like French fry.
I am wearing history. That's
you
super
gotta
cool.
recreate that video.
This feels, it's trippy. It's like a,
Someone's found this. Is...
there's like a chin guard in here.
Oh.
Weirdly enough, like an elastic chin guard or something. Getting your head in the neck is a little spooky, because it like, it stretches, but like...
It doesn't look like it should stretch more than it needs to.
Yeah, because like the neck is pretty tight when you see someone wearing it, so I'm a little paranoid about like fucking it up. I don't want to rip the neck on accident, but I'd have to stretch it at least a little bit to get my head in. You know what?
Yeah.
You just gotta not be
there you
afraid
go.
of it.
Oh, dude, look at that. Oh my god, that's so you. Come on, dude. Don't keep us waiting. He's going. That's so cool.
Haha!
Oh,
Dude,
just
crazy. You know, the visibility's not too bad. I'd preferred like lenses because they're just like sunglasses, but this is honestly like pretty good visibility. Reminds me of this old Deadpool costume I had when I was like a little kid, where it had like white mesh fabric in the eyes there too. All right.
Yeah, I expect that video.
You just gotta kind of like put it on like a sock. Is the thing. You just can't just like pull it over in one swift
I don't wear
motion.
socks.
You got.
Yeah,
sense to me.
it's a
I'm not sure if actually,
You should probably get a mannequin easy. Just find a store that's like
the
find
shoe
like-
size is like perfect actually.
Find like a-
You know what? If you guys are willing to wait for a second, I can go try and put it on upstairs and come back down and see.
Yeah, go do that.
Alright.
I'll be...
It's cool. It has like kung fu shoes almost on the inside, because there's actually a part of the shoe that you that is attached to the inside that's like a sock. I kind of see why the Vrados would complain that the visibility was a little low, because the mesh is not like ideal, and I could see it kind of getting like difficult to wear for someone with like glasses.
My only thing, like, that raised the question, what's the difference between that and the Eastbrooks one for visibility?
I suppose we'd have to get that one to know for sure.
You better be looking at the camera and not me. I can't.
This thing is truly a marvel to look at. It's crazy seeing such a clear image of it after not seeing one of these in person since like 2009.
Are we gonna leave that in?
No, we don't gotta.
I forgot that you wrote that.
This design is definitely one of the most iconic and era-defining looks for the webhead. It's undeniably the Spider-Man of Romita Sr.'s art, especially his look from like the mid-80s onward. Personally, I don't think you get much closer to replicating what's on the page. The colors are perfect. The additional webs help sell a modern or 90s look that the suit was made in mind with, but it doesn't go too far overboard to the point of becoming a product of its time. It's just as timeless as Romita's Spidey.
The suit itself feels great to wear. The fabric's smooth and sturdy even after all this time. The silk-screened webs are so bold and clean looking that they show up really nicely on camera, even at a distance. You can really tell this suit was designed with photography in mind. There's a shoe inside, including a top half that keeps the sole from moving away from your foot while you're jumping, which Spidey performers complained about early on as it would lead to accidents or injuries. The back logo is fully embroidered and sewn in, so it stands out from the blue sections even more with the bold black outline. A lot of people have asked me if the gloves are removable because of this seam on the arms, but that's all it is, a seam. It's a nice bit of realism to imagine that's where the real Spidey would remove his gloves, though. The visibility isn't fantastic through the white mesh, however, and especially since I'm vision impaired, it can be a little hard to navigate in this thing without contacts. If only I had them fancy Spider Powers LASIK surgeries that Toby Man's got. The horizontal zipper is really easy to hide and adds some believability to the performers not having an obvious way in and out of the suit. As a kid, your imagination definitely pushes you to see this as a 7-piece costume. Sure, it seems a little silly to be so obsessed with owning this thing because I already have plenty of Spider-Man suits. Some even a little better than this one because I can go to the bathroom in them or see through the mask better. But this thing is a piece of history. For many people at a young age, seeing this helped them believe in Spider-Man and become attached to that character. And it unfortunately became a relic because it was replaced by the new Universal Studios suit or various other more movie-accurate ones. So few of these are left in existence, and having an authentic one is an honor.
This specific costume means a lot to me because it represents an important chapter of the character's history and an important era of the Islands of Adventure Park at Universal. This costume was featured in the park from opening day until the turn of the decade when all the Marvel characters got a facelift alongside the updates to the Spider-Man attraction. There's no going back to that period of the park, and it'd be a shame if all that stuff was lost to time.
Now to display this thing properly. I'll need a mannequin and a nice glass case so it's like my own personal museum. From the bottom of my heart to everyone who donated, thank you so much, and I had a blast filming all of the personal greetings. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna mess around. There are cars there, motherfucker! I can't see! Well, that's one piece of history in the bag. You're next, boy!
I don't remember what that was. That was a song in my head, and I told you what it was, and I forgot what it was. There was no note or anything either. I really just, that's gonna be lost.
Fuck, we should have put a note there for what that was.
I think I just put it because I don't think it even meant anything to the video. I just wanted to, it was on my mind, so it went onto the page.
Yeah, okay, alright, well.
Spiderbed.com.
By the way, I think all this is going in. I'm very sorry.
Okay.